Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be tackling an absolutely massive pack. Look, check this out, free trays again. Free trays can only mean one thing. We are doing pack 11 of the Agora models release and build the G1 Optimus Prime. So if you remember in the last stage, we actually did the thighs and we also did the pelvic area here. I believe today we're going to be doing the wheels, we're going to be doing the cannons on the side, and we are going to start the spine and this little area here. Now there is a lot to do in here. We've also got the matrix of leadership in here. Not actually sure if we actually build that in this one though. That might be for the final pack. Can you believe the final pack is the next pack? That's just blown my mind away. It seems like only yesterday that we actually started building this. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I've put a link in the video description, and there's also a QR code on the screen there that you can scan and get this all the way from pack 1. I'm going to actually sort these bits out because I think filming today is going to be a little bit hard because obviously this is really big. It's too big for the cameras here, so I probably am going to have to use my phone here to actually get some of this footage. But without further ado, let's get cracking. Pretty hard to figure out how I'm going to start this, but the first two parts I need look just like this. Now, whatever you see me doing on one side here, I'm actually doing on the other side as well. But the way these are going to go is with these two holes just here going in like, whoops, get it in, that there. Now, I need to put that into place with some 2.6 by 8mm screws. I've got that here, and it's just a case of putting these screws just through the top here. So there's one there. It's going to be two each side and one there. And then if I just spin him around, you can see I've already placed where the other one's going to go, and it's just a case of two screws going into these points here. So then we're going to be taking the part that looks just like this. It can only go in one way, so it fits nice and flush in there like that. I'll put the one in the other side as well. And once again, it's the same screws, the 2.6 by 8mm screws, just into the holes here to get this into place. And once I've done that, once again, I can just spin him round. I should really put him on my Lazy Susan. I have got one here, actually. There you go, that's better. Look, he's on my Lazy Susan now. Let's put these last two screws in. Now, with both of those in here and here, we can actually just put this whole thing to one side. Bring in this tray over, which is where I've been getting all the parts from at the moment, and then I need these items just here. 1 and 2. I also need these strips here. So, if you have a look at these, we've got an arrow pointing up at the bottom. We've got the same arrow pointing up there. These are going to go on this section like that. They are going to be glued in. So what we want to do is put a layer of glue just onto these two edges here. So I have got my brush on glue here. Just get that on each side and put the first one in like that. And then continue doing it for the other three. Once again, I get a lot of people asking where I'm getting brush on super glue from. Well, actually it comes from the range stores in the UK. And it looks just like that. So when that's done, it should look like that. I've got to make another one of these. And by the patter of editing, there's the next one. So, bringing back this enormous leg system that we've got here. This is just going to be going on top of what we've created there. So I'm just going to line it all up. And you'll feel it slot in like that. Turn it round. Do the same on this one. Perfect. And then once again, we've got these 2.6 by 8mm black screws here to screw that into place. Takes two screws. And when I've done that on one side, spin it round. Well, hey, I love this Lazy Susan. And do the same on the other side. Now in this tray, you can see we've got some posts here. I need all of these posts now. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting each post into the sections on the outside here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, one just behind here, 4. So it looks like that. Turn it around, and I'm going to be putting them in this side as well. Now, to hold them in place, we're going to be putting this section on next, which has got some grooves at the side here. The grooves at the side is what's going to align these posts. So that one's going to go on like that. And again, if I turn this one round, this one's going to go in here, just like that there. Which means the final section we're going to be putting on looks just like this. And that's going to go on the top with these rods going through each side. So just lining up each side here, showing all the rods go in. There's two there, that one there, and that one there. Do the same on the other side. And then once again, these 2.6 by 8mm screws I've got here, just down the centre to hold this whole thing into place. That one's there in. Let's do this one on the other side here as well. I am supporting this from the bottom, just so you know when I'm screwing this in. The last thing I want to do, just to hide those screw holes, is to put these caps in. They look like this. We are just going to need to put a drop of glue just in this to keep these in. So what I'm going to do is just dab a bit of glue just into the lugs there and put this into place. Perfect. Do the same on the other side. Once again, just a little bit of glue just in those points there, not too much. And then just drop this into place. There you go, and that's the fuel tanks. Keep calling them cannons. That's the fuel tanks in place. Once again, I can put this whole thing to one side. And I've brought up the tray again because I need some stuff from this tray, namely these calipers here, looking like that, and the brake discs. Now, with these calipers, there's two kinds. You've got these, which have got 2 slots, and you've got these, which have got 1 slot. It's the 1 slot one that I need first. Take the brake disc, which has got 1 slot in it, and just put some glue either side of this tab. Grab the 1 slot caliper, make sure it's this way round, so that when I put this on, whoops, it can only go on one way because obviously there's no slot on the other side. And just push that into place. I'm going to take the other 1 slot disc I've got here, and again, put some glue either side of that tab. Take the 1 slot caliper I've got and slot that into place there. That's 2. And then we've got the 2 slot calipers, which again, put some glue on here, or 2 slot brake disc should I say. Grab the caliper to put on top, and this time that goes and fits in both of those slots like that. So that's 3. And finally, this one here is number 4. Let that glue dry. Now, as you can see here, I'm laying out 4 wheels, and we also need the rims. They look like this. Now, to get these rims in here, I'm just having a look. It is going to be quite a push to get them in. I am just going to loosen them up by putting this in a little bit of hot water. Now, the reason I'm using a little bit of hot water is even though it's easy to get these in, it'll be hard to get this lip around the other side. So what I've done is I've just put it in a little bit of hot water, and it only has to sit in there for like 10 seconds, just like that. So that when I put this in now, you'll see it will go in easy that side, but it's now easy to actually manipulate this around the rim on this side so that we can get it perfectly in. Now, I'm saying that was in the water for 10 seconds. To be honest with you, I'd say 5 seconds because they're so small. But there we go, that's one complete one. I'm going to do the same with the other 3. And there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just put those to one side. I'm going to bring over Optimus Prime again. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking this bracket looking like this. And this is going to be going where the wheels are going to be going this way round onto that section there. And then I want to take the calipers that we created, which have got 1 slot in them, and having them this way round, they're going to go over these points here. And again, the single one here going over this point just here. Okay, if you look in this bag here, we've got some little rubber O-rings. Let's get them out. And I want to keep these calipers into place by putting an O-ring just in the center there, like that. And the same on this side just here. And then this is where I'm going to be putting the wheels on. So I'm going to get everything ready. The wheels are here. I need these washers, looking like that. And a long PWB 2.6 times 8mm screw. And it's just a case of putting the screw through the washer, putting that into the wheel, getting my screwdriver in there, and I'm going to screw this to the hole here. And you want to screw that in tightly. And there we go, it's the first wheel in. Still able to move, but no wobble. Do the same on the one above it. Excellent. And then I was looking for the caps. They're actually underneath the circuit board here. So we've got 4 caps just here. I'm going to need to just put some glue on the bottom of these caps here. And then push them over the screw holes. Like that. So that's one. And just do the one below it. So, there we go. That looks good, doesn't it? All in place. So if I spin this around, we're going to be doing exactly the same thing on the other side here. So again, we've got this brace, which is going to go on this way round, like that. We've got the calipers, which are going to be going this way round with the slots facing towards the back, and they go on like that. And they sort of lock themselves in. So when they're in, as you can see here, if you just turn it, hang on, I put that in the wrong way, you see? Even I put them in the wrong way. They can't turn, you see? Once they're in, they're kind of locked in there. To keep these into place, I've got these O-rings, which I'm just going to put over there. So 1 and 2. And then take one of these flanged big screws we've got, and a washer, and bring a wheel over. Let's get that into place. And screw these in. So once again, I get both of these wheels on this side. The tighter you get them, the more straight they're going to fit into there. And then the last thing to do is just to put these caps over the top again. I have to say, even though you don't see the calipers, I do like the fact that they haven't omitted them. They are there. I think that's good. But there we go. That's the wheels in on both sides. Excellent. Put this to one side again. And I've cleared my workbench because we're going to start making the spine. Now everything else in this tray is to do with the remote control, so I don't need anything in here at the moment. But as you can see here, I've brought up the second tray because we do need some parts from this. Now I'm going to lay out some of these details. The first one I need is like this, so let me lay all of these ones out. We also need these details, let me lay them out. And I also need this detail here, which is on its own. This was actually underneath my grill here, so check under there if you're looking for that. So what I'm going to do is just take these 2 sections here, and this is going to go into here just like that. On the other side of this, I'm going to be putting this bracket here like that. And then I need to put a pin through the whole thing. We then need these pins. This was underneath this plate here. It doesn't matter which way we put these in, but we want to just make sure that everything is engaged together when I push this pin through. You just know this ain't going to be easy. So 1, 2. Once you've lined up the first 3, like this, it should be easy to get this through. I've almost got this through. There you go. That's through. Okay. So now when that's in, it should look just like that. Now I need to make this 6 more times. And there you go. So we've done 6 of those. Now to join these together, what I'm going to be doing is laying them kind of like this, in sort of like a human centipede motion. So I'm just going to lie them down so you can get the idea of how they're going to look when they go through. And what I'm going to need to do is put a pin through these sides here to start joining these together. Now when we do put them in, we want to have the flap section of this above the lip here, not below it. So it needs to be above the lip. I will dip this in a bit of oil again. And you can kind of line it up and push the pin in. And then when you've got it so far, then just bang it in the rest of the way. And again, just making sure that that lip is above, as you can see. I'm going to do the same with all the next ones. And as you can see, they're all in place. Put that to one side. I need 2 other items now. I need one that looks like this and one that looks like this. Now we need a couple more bits of spine. If you're looking for them, there's 2 more here. They're underneath this plate just here. And what I'm going to do is take this one first, and once again I'm going to be linking these together just like this. But this time I'm going to be using a shorter pin, which is this one here, just to link these 2 together. I did get a bit panicky then, thinking I was missing some parts, but no, they were just hiding. There we go, so that's those in. And then I want to take this piece here, which looks like that. And again, I'm going to be putting this section just over the top using one of the larger pins. So we've got the ends now sorted out for the spine. So this end here is going to become the back section. So this is going to go in here like that. And again, a long pin to hold that in. This is like making those tracks on the leopard tank. So that's that end in there. And I just need to put the end in over here as well. So we want these sections here to be facing forward, and this is just going to go in here like that again on top. So just doing that whole spine section there, it's taken, I don't know, it's taken a long while. So now I need all of these spine sections. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these. I seem to have one in a bag as well here, so don't know if there's a difference between them. It looks exactly the same as the others, to be honest with you. Okay, I'm going to be putting all of this together. So starting at the bottom, I'm going to be putting the first bit of spine just over the top like this. And that's going to be held in by 2.3 by 6mm screws. Now these are PB screws, they're black screws, and they look like this. So let's get these in. You just know this is going to look awesome once it's done, but I'll tell you what, this is a really fiddly section. And then once you've done that one, you're just going to repeat what you've done for the next one up. So this one's going to go on here. So I will continue putting all of these in through the whole length. This is the last screw going in here, and Optimus Prime now has a spine with all 8 of these sections put together, as you can see. Excellent. It's like a slippery snake. But there we go, that's how that looks. Excellent. Now I need this part just here. Now, if you have a look at the way these are spaced out, I'm interested in this one, which is closer together. These 2 parts are closer together, because this is going to be facing towards the front of Optimus Prime. I'm going to bring that over now. And I told you how hard this is going to be to fit. So this is the front of Optimus Prime here. So when I put this on, I want that narrow section to be pointing towards the front. Just make sure that the wires are between that section as well. Now to hold that in, I'm going to be using our old favourite, the 3.8mm, I don't know, one camera here, metal hex screw with a crimped washer. So one this side, and just one from the other side as well. Once again, I've moved Optimus Prime because I'm going to be creating some more areas of that sort of like abdominal region. So for that, I need this plastic section here, and I need these two metal sections which are going to go on top. Now this one's labelled number 1. That's going to be going in just like that there. This one here is stamped number 2. That's going to be going on the other side just there. I'm holding them in with PB 2.6 by 8mm screws. These are the screws that we used right at the start, looking like this. And they're just going to go into the 2 holes here. So one here and one here. And just do the same on the other side. I'm going to be taking this section we've created, and then I need the spine as well, but it's the base of the spine that I'm looking at, because I'm going to be putting this section onto the base of the spine just there like that, but this time with 2.3 by 6mm screws, the slightly smaller ones. So one there, and then I just need one on the other side, and that is the base of the spine mounted to that plate there. We're about to now put this, I just cast that back onto the top of Optimus Prime, bring him over again. This part here is going to be going over the top of this section here, and in the 4 holes here we're going to be using again the M3 silver screws with the crimped washers to get that locked into place. Now there's 4 of these, so I'm going to get all 4 of these in, and there we go, that's all 4 of those in. Now in these 2 points just here and here, I've got these little sections to put in. They're just going to be pushed into here, one there, and one the other side. And then once again, I can put Optimus Prime to one side. So the next sections I need are these 3 parts here. What I'm going to be doing is taking this metal part, that's going to be going onto the front of this section here, and I've got this back part here which has got a lug in the center there which is going to go down that shaft, and I need to put all of these together. So once again I'm using the black 2.6 by 8mm screws for that. So it is just a case of lining up all the holes and getting them in. So that's that section created. Bring over Optimus Prime again, and I'm going to be putting this part this way round onto the brackets just there. Now to hold that in, I've got these parts here. One's going to go, let's keep that in the track that it needs to be. One's going on there, the other one's going on the other side just there. Once again, we need the 2.6 by 8mm black screws to keep these in. And it's getting so tall now, it's actually hitting the camera, so I've had to move it towards me a little bit. Let's get all 4 of these screws in. 2 this side, 2 this side. I'll just push him back so you can see on the top camera how that looks, but there we go, that's in like that. In the holes just on the inside here, I'm going to be actually putting some of these metal silver screws here. Now I'm aware that you're going to see me putting in the thread lock screws. It's not those, it's the ones that are in the silver bag. I do realise that's a mistake and change that later on. And as you can see, they're all in place. This is where I realised that I actually had these in the wrong way. They actually need to have this section facing outwards. Hopefully you can see that. Because we've got these brackets to put on, which are going to go on this way, and they're going to go over those. So one this side, and one this side. Excellent. I've now got 2 more of these bolts which are going in. So one's just going in here, and I'll just take another one and put that on the other side, because we're going to be putting these brackets on, and they have got a hole here which is going to go into the back section, and then the top is going to go into the bolts that we just put in here. I think you'll find it easier actually to take the whole thing off and put the bolt in first. So then that looks like that. Do the same on the other side. Now I'm going to need these wires here to now come through this back section to keep them out the way. So let's just get them through. And I'm going to be holding these 2 parts together now just with this metal plate. one of these split washers, as you can see here, or lock washers, and screw this into place. 4 screws this is going to take. And when that's in place, that should look like that. So of course it was this time at the proceedings that I realised I made a mistake. I had this side piece and this side piece the wrong way round. You need to make this sure this one's number 1 and this one's number 2. And I only discovered that because the next part we're putting on is this one, which needs to go into this section just here like that. And that's held in once again with these metal 3x8 screws. And when they're all in, they should look like that. I can now put that to one side. Because the next thing I need is this metal plate here, which is stamped number 1. And I have got a little detail to put inside that. That looks just like this. There is 2 of them, so make sure you get the right one. It's this one here. I do think this one might be... Just make sure that that point at the top there is in place. But that's going to go on like that. That's held in with PWM 2x6mm screws. These are silver screws looking like this. And then I'm going to do exactly the same on this part here. Again, this one's going in this way like that. And again, 5 screws. I've brought over Optimus again, and basically we want to put these into place. So number 1 is going on this side like that. And number 2 is going on this side like that. Just push that in there. I now need these screws, PWB 2.6x6mm screws. I don't know if you can see on the top camera, but if I put my screwdriver in here on that grey bit that we put in, and if I push it in, you can see the screw hole come out the other side. This is where I'm going to be putting one of those screws. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So they're in, they can't move now. Definitely use my PH1 screwdriver in there. Now in the final tray where the matrix of leadership is, we've got these 2 metal sections here, 1 and 2. I'm going to put those on now. So they're going to be fitting on top of these sections here. So one in there like that. And then this other one will be going into the other side, whoop, like that. Now they're held in with these silver metal screws. These are the normal ones, not the hex ones. And then once again, in the same tray that we had that matrix of leadership, we've got this plate, which is just going to go in on the top just here. Get that slotted in. There you go, like that. And then again, it's the same screws we're putting in. This time it's 4 each side. So I get all of these in. And when they're all screwed in, they should look like that. Put that to one side. I want to bring over this vent panel here, which I'm going to be putting some little props in. Not a lot left in this pack now, so I think I'm just going to tip everything out. And these are going to be glued in. So what I'm going to do is just put some glue just into the shaft holes here. And then just push these props in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Whoops. Just let them stick for a second. Put that to one side in the meantime, because I'm going to be taking this grill section and this plate. The plate is going to go into the middle there, so that's what that's looking like from that side. That looks brilliant. And then I've got a couple of brackets to put into place. The single one is going on top, so if this is that way round on there, that one's going on the top, probably best on the top camera actually. And then the bottom one will be following the pattern, the shape of that grill, so that one's going in there. That's going to be held in with these PB 2.3x6mm screws. And I need 2 each side. Bring over Optimus again. And I want to take this section that we created with the propellers. I'm going to be pushing these lugs into the holes here. So line it up. And get that pushed in just like that. You heard that clip in then. And then I'm just going to be taking this top section here and again doing exactly the same thing, lining it up and pushing that in like that. Now I'm still thinking that these wires come out through the bottom here. So what I've done is I've just straightened the spine out now because I've got a bracket to put on to keep this into place. This just goes over the top and once again it's held in with the PB screws, but I am going to make sure that those wires aren't in the way of that spine. Just get these screws in to mount that as well. And that's that in, and that's the spine in place as well. So we've finished with Optimus Prime. All that's left to do is just assemble this remote control here. So I'll get all the parts out for this. This won't take long. This was an absolute marathon build, this was. So to create the remote control, all I'm going to do is take the board here and put the board just on top of this section there, lining up the holes. Once again, I need some of these 2.3 by 6mm screws to hold this in, and I need 3 of these. Once that's in, I want to take this plug here and I want to make sure the polarity is right in it and put this into this socket here. Puts this rubber guide in here, which has got all of these selections on it. That looks pretty cool actually. That goes in this way. So it's looking like that. We've got the emblem, which is going in the middle. And then all I'm going to do is just piece both of these parts together. So if I hold that way round, put this over the top, and securing that in again with the 2.3 by 6mm screws just into the holes here. And I'm going to need 6 of them. All that's left to do then is just to actually just put the battery terminal on. I'm not going to put batteries in it yet. Check all the buttons, click. That's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that truly monumental pack. Now you just know I've got a comment about the recording time for that. So the recording time for that was at the moment 2 hours 41 minutes. So there's what he looks like from behind. Obviously we put the wheels and the fuel tanks in over here. And that's what he's looking like from the front. And he's looking, I mean I can pose him however I want. There we go. It's more of a heroic pose there I guess. But I have got him on my Lazy Susan so you can see how that looks. We've obviously done the remote control as well. And then something else, just if you are concerned, we do have another tray which has got the Matrix of Leadership, which I'm guessing we're going to be doing in the last pack. What a absolutely truly monumental build that was. And I still made a mistake. But looking good, isn't it? If you want to get this for yourself, I've put a link in the video description and there's also a QR code on the screen. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, oh, it looks good. Take care.